you're out there, you're riding, you're having a good time, and taking in the outdoors.
The fight isn't over. The fight is just beginning.
The place that we're riding out of today used to belong to a couple that had lived there in the late 1800s, living off of mostly milk and plants and grass. They had a very difficult life, harsh winters, very harsh conditions to travel in. The wife died giving birth to her 11th child. They had a very difficult time, but also they were probably really healthy and happy people. I contrast their lifestyle against ours today, and it really reminds you just how unhealthy we are today. You start to get withdrawal symptoms if you go half a day without a phone nowadays. But nowadays you have Instagram, instant gratification, and you have access to anything and anybody that you want just with a click of the button. It's such a contrast to read about how people used to live, especially back in places like this where you wouldn't see another person for months on end. Yeah! What's going on, guys? So today I'm riding with a female rider on the cliff trail. A little bit dry today. It's affecting traction a little bit. But this is honestly a gnarly trail. There's a lot of sections on here that are really close to the edge, and you have to navigate those 100 or 200 feet from the ground, just straight down off the cliff. So yeah, see, like a lot of this stuff, I'm sliding around quite a bit. This is one that you want to take riders on that you really trust. And we were talking earlier about riding with the hill on our right side. It's not as comfortable for either of us. So on our way down the trail is a little bit easier. She's doing a good way of de-weighting the front end, staying loose, keeping her balance. Those are the biggest things. If you ride loose, you're keeping your balance. You have the ability to de-weight over some of these little rocks a lot easier. And some of these side hill rock ledges, if you don't de-weight, it's going to deflect your front end off the side. stack of down timber over there.
Good.
Oh,
How you feeling?
I'm out of shape.
I thought there was some good fishing in there.
Probably. Yeah. Looks like a good place to swim.
Little slick.
This is where the cliff sucks.
Whoops, sorry.
Hold on. Your hand, you squished my hand there.
You want to switch? Yeah, on this side, going up the river, you get some pretty good views. You get good views going down as well, but for one, my camera's on that side, so, or on the left side, so it'll work out better. My rear tire sucks and it's dry out here. I feel a lot of slippage.
just life and death is all right next to the cliff right there. Where I was feeling a lot of slippage going sideways and getting me off balance was right next to that cliff. I don't want none of that drama. Just a little near-death experience, nothing too major. Hopefully you guys can hear her talking to me, so I'm not just like responding to what she's saying and you guys don't have any context. I'm pretty sure these radios are loud enough where my mic will actually pick up a lot of that. The wind is picking up, blowing us around a little bit. I was actually going to jump off of a rock back there, but I don't want to get airborne with the wind. You can't really counter the wind if you're in the air. And you'd be surprised at how fast the wind can really throw you off too. Get your front wheel off the ground even. Sometimes it can knock you sideways. Not to say that it's really windy. Right now it's just kind of breezy, but going through the canyon at times picks up and you get some pretty big gusts. Little elements that you have to look out for. And on a trail like this, it is life or death, so you don't want to mess up big. On a trail like this, I recommend having pretty fresh tires. I have horrible tires, so my rear tire is on its last ride. My front one has no side knobs. They all broke off, which is pretty typical of this front tire, but I like it anyway. It works pretty good until that happens. It has a pretty good wide platform. Good stability. My front end catch a little rock right there, knocked it a little bit toward the cliff. It's enough to get my heart going a little bit. Gotta be really careful. It's not that this is that difficult, it's that it has high consequence. I don't know how many times I've been knocked off a trail just riding along and I don't expect it. And it's not necessarily a hard trail, but something just happens and I get knocked off. Well, if that happens on this trail, you're done. So that's the difference right there. You got to make sure that doesn't. What's that? I know, I'm starting to feel the burn too. Sometimes on trails like this, the safer support liner is actually closer to the edge, which is somewhat counterintuitive sometimes, but if you have to avoid an obstacle, then you gotta do what you gotta do. I was smiling.
Me too.
Smiling under the helmet.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Balancing becomes difficult with all this wind. Definitely not as smooth through any of these rock sections, but you have to do it 100% safe. Not 100%, nothing is that, but you guys get what I'm saying. The rock sections, I'm literally just stopping and rock crawling those, just getting my engine above idle, putting my foot down if possible, and then just crawling over it. I don't want any unpredicted bounces. But as I was saying earlier, sometimes the safer route on a trail like this is actually closer to the wall or closer to the cliff. A lot of people would assume you'd want to stay away from the cliff, which you want to give yourself a buffer for sure, but you also don't want to hit the wall because that will send you over. I just want her to get up that, oh, maybe walker bike, Jesus. You guys can't tell, the Uh-oh. You okay?
Yeah.
You stopped on that hill back there and it gave me so much anxiety. Oh no, her skid plate's hanging down. My boot against the rock. This is a beautiful trail, but like I said, really high consequence. When I'm riding with somebody else, it just freaks me out. If they go down, you want to make sure they go down somewhere besides the cliff edge. Good thing about this rocky cliff edge stuff is it does provide good traction where the rock is anyway.
The upriver portion of this trail gets more and more dangerous as you go, but it also gets more and more scenic and just awe-inspiring with the mountain views.
You made it alive!
That's awesome.
We finished up the day with no incident besides a dead drone, and for that I'm super thankful and I'm excited for the next adventure. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Head over to my Patreon page at patreon.com/RacerRed if you want to support the channel. Other than that, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.